we're talking about disability versus death and how it pertains to pets. Every single disability is different and unique. Even animals or people with similar disabilities will need completely different livelihoods and accommodations. For example, some blind pets need a sightseeing pet to be with them 24/7, and others are perfectly fine with just moving around on their own. And then regarding blindness, that's the disability that Geronimo currently has, along with some major teeth issues. So hand feeding and force feeding help when he's having surgeries with his teeth or just lots of pain and such, and he won't eat on his own because he's a little stubborn turd. With Geronimo, it was definitely a hard decision, and it just hurt my heart so much to see someone I love in so much pain. And so I wanted him to live, but I didn't want him to suffer. And so I kept thinking of every single possibility. There's no black and white answer, it's all gray. And so you have to decide for yourself what you think is best for your pet. And so Geronimo is a very strong soul. So I knew that he can conquer anything because that's just what he's done in the past. He's rose above losing his brother, he's rose above losing his first eyeball, he rose above breast cancer. He's had a lot of health issues because he came from a pet store, so interbreeding and not the best genes, but he has the best attitude despite the worst situations. He's strong and overcoming, and so I knew that would pertain to him in the future of a disabled life. So I knew that he would live with the same strength and the same perseverance as disabled as he did before when he was able-bodied. So I looked into options because I couldn't afford surgeries to get him to the disability aspect where he can live. So I found a disabled rodent rehabilitation center called the Pipsqueakery, which was able to take him in really no notice at all. Within a couple days, he had someone come to pick him up and drive him all the way to the organization, where he was able to get his teeth treated, his eyeball treated, and then he also had to get neutered before he joined the herd. And he fit in right away. I was surprised because he hated his neighbor Zeno so much. They had to be separated because they argued so much, they'd throw poop at each other. He'd be like, "Hey, why are you throwing poop at me?" And then they would do some rumble struts and some guinea pig purr of love squeaks, and not the best situation, but he didn't do that at all. He fit right in. He made so many friends. I think he's got 40 disabled friends now, and they're all so happy. They just run along, cuddling with each other, eating carrots together. They always have dinner together, and seeing him living his best life just makes me want to live my best life as a disabled person too. So it's really inspiring. He gives me strength in everyday situations too. And so I hope that seeing disabled animals can help others learn that you just have to adapt to learning how to care for a disabled pet, because disabled pets deserve to live. They have the same value as any other life, and they can still have a huge quality of life with those disabilities. So because of my experience with Geronimo, I urge others to be more educated about disabilities and help spread awareness so that disabled pets can have high quality of life and they don't have to be surrendered to euthanasia because of the medical expenses or the extra care that's needed. Because, I mean, he needs a little more TLC, but who doesn't want more cuddles every day? I mean, I would be hand-fed carrots and cuddle 24/7 if I had the chance. Like, that sounds awesome. He's living his dream life. He's living his best life. And so if your pet has health struggles too, just know that there's an upside. And while yes, some health issues do require euthanasia so they don't have to suffer, just think and research a lot to determine what's better for your animal. You know your animal better than anyone else. So while I knew what was right in my heart for Geronimo, not every situation's the same, and not every disability's the same, not every pet's the same. I feel like money should never be a reason for putting an animal down. There's plenty of other people, organizations that will care for them and be able to provide for them. Regarding health issues, I feel like if they're literally on their deathbed in so much pain and they just look you in the eyes and they're like, please stop the suffering, I feel like that's where you need to let them have their peace. Whereas if you look in their eyes and they're still full of spunk and love and they look like they have the desire to live. I mean, they say like the eyes are the window to the soul. And even though some people don't think animals have souls, I feel like you can still see into them and see what they need and what they want. So just let the animal tell you. Another important aspect regarding whether to euthanize or allow them to live a disabled lifestyle is if there's adequate treatments for them and if there's adequate veterinarian service around you.
Now we're going to talk a bit about the Pipsqueakery. It is a non-profit organization where disabled rodents can live high quality of lives and they can get rehabilitated and adopted out through their adoption system, or if they require a lot of special needs accommodations, then they just stay at the Pipsqueakery. Now I'm going to read some of Alex Mitchell's posts about Geronimo. Meet Geronimo. Geronimo moved in 2 Sundays ago because his loving owner, me, couldn't get him surgery to have his very swollen and dried out eye removed. He had stopped eating. He had his other eye removed 4 months prior for a similar issue, and paying for a second surgery just wasn't in the cards. When he got here, we found out that he also had bad dental issues and a very, very large abscess on his lower jaw. We got him into the vet as an emergency the very next day, and he had his first surgery to remove the problem incisor. The abscess on his jaw had to be broken open, so it had to be cleaned and packed daily. We couldn't have his eye removed that day because he just wasn't strong enough. Today he went back to the vet where he had his remaining eye removed, had full dental work on his remaining incisor and molars, and also had to remove part of his ear that he had torn up badly. Not really sure how he did that one in a hospital cage, but he did. They also went ahead and neutered him while he was under anesthesia, so he wouldn't have to have another surgery before he could move in with the big herd after he heals. This poor baby has been through a lot, and he's been snuggling with me ever since we got home. He's got no eyes left, probably more dentals ahead, and a lot of healing to do. But he has a forever home here where all the guinea pigs are used to the new kids being just a little different. I think we'll fit in just right. Geronimo is peeking over the edge of the box. And by peeking, I mean not peeking at all because he has no eyes. Despite his lack of eyes, I have to admit he has gotten quite adept at running away from me when I come to get him to clean the hole in the bottom of his jaw. Little stinker. He's actually doing very well, and his jaw had healed up nicely, but the vet had to go in and clean up a last piece of tooth root fragment, so now he's got a new hole. Hopefully this one heals up quickly, and then we will only need sporadic dentals going forward. Keep your fingers crossed for him. So I'm thinking there might be a significant number of people out there that don't really know much about a guinea pig's quality of life, being blind or having dental disease. We have gotten a significant number of comments suggesting we should just euthanize Geronimo, given that he has had to have both his eyes removed and has dental disease. Many of these comments were kind and curious, which we were happy to answer, but some were downright rude and weirdly accusatory. So first of all, guinea pigs have, frankly, crappy eyesight, even when they aren't blind. like a lethal white, or when they have eyes removed, like Geronimo. They basically see movement and shadows even when they have perfect guinea pig eyesight. Being totally blind will definitely take some adjustment for Geronimo, but all in all, it isn't something that really harms his quality of life as long as basic accommodations are made. Plus, the idea that blindness is worse than death is problematic in more than a few ways. As for the dental disease, well, yes, that's a bigger deal for guinea pigs, and there's a certain level of dental disease where euthanasia becomes a consideration. Lucky for us, that's a very, very advanced dental disease, because our vet is one of the world's top dentists for guinea pigs and basically any other exotic. Geronimo's dental disease is really pretty mild for now. He will likely start off with dental exams every 3 or so months, and then we will either be able to space them out further or move them closer together based on his needs. Of course, dental disease is one of the more expensive issues we deal with, but as long as there is good quality of life, we believe it is worth the expenses for many, many reasons. Plus, isn't Geronimo cute eating his greens? He's actually exploring the living room floor right now and chewing on things we would prefer he wouldn't. It was nice knowing you, Jacket without holes. I encourage you to follow and support the Pipsqueakery and even reach out to Pilots and Paws who can help relocate your pet to a facility, because all animals deserve to be loved and live a high quality of life.